Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm talking about the new Eli Roth film Thanksgiving. This is a film that's adapted from a fake trailer that was used in the movie Grindhouse, which was basically Planet Terror and Death Proof packaged together in theaters back when that came out in 2007, I want to say. So there was fake trailers in between both movies. Obviously, there was a lot of them that already became movies, like Machete from Robert Rodriguez, Hobo with a Shotgun, I think became a movie already. And now we have Thanksgiving right here. And the one that didn't become a movie yet, I think, was called Werewolf Women of the SS from Rob Zombie, but that never became a movie officially. But Thanksgiving, which officially did become a movie recently, did. And that's the film I'm reviewing for you today. So, like I said, this is based off a fake trailer from the Grindhouse double feature back when that came out. And basically, what the plot of this movie is more so than the fake trailer that had like a different plot. But this movie had for a plot was basically a Black Friday shopping spree went wrong one year in Massachusetts, and basically the following Thanksgiving of the following year, all these murders start taking place, and they're all related to people who were a part of that bad Black Friday shopping spree from the year before. And so basically, over the course of this film, this group of teenagers in a part of this high school that are near this place called Right Mart, which is basically the Massachusetts version of Walmart in this movie. They basically have to figure out who this killer might be since they were there when this really bad murder took place at the Black Friday shopping spree. And so over the course of this movie, they have to figure out who this killer is, why he's after these people that were a part of that night at the Black Friday shopping spree, and they have to figure out who the killer is before all of them get killed off. So basically, for my positives, so first and foremost, guys, my overall thoughts on this movie is um, I thought it was an okay movie. There's things about it that I enjoy, but there's also things about it that I thought could have been better. So let's kind of go over some positives and negatives of why I feel like that is the case. So for my positives of Thanksgiving, I thought the grindhouse aesthetic that the that the movie carried basically was very effective. It did feel like something from those Grindhouse trailers that we saw from that Grindhouse double feature. For those who never saw that too, by the way, you can also find that on YouTube. Just type in like Thanksgiving Grindhouse trailer, and I'm sure you'll find it. And basically, I thought the aesthetic from that Eli Roth brought to that was effectively brought into this movie. So it does feel like something that would exist in like a Grindhouse cinema somewhere. It does have the big gory violent kills. It does have the swearing. It does have the nudity and stuff like that. So I thought the grindhouse aesthetic that Eli Roth brought to this movie, I thought was overall pretty effective. I also thought the lead actress they got, I don't know her name, unfortunately. I don't know if I've seen her in anything else, but I liked the lead actress they got to basically be the Sidney Prescott of this movie. She basically is the lead of the group. She has all these friends that are with her to try to figure out who this killer might be on this Thanksgiving season one year. And like I said, she definitely gives like a final girl, Sidney Prescott kind of vibe to her. So whether her audition went well, whether Eli Roth saw her in something else, I thought she was very effective in the role that she played. You almost can kind of tell she kind of came to set with a backstory for this character, so it wasn't just what was written on the page for her. You can probably tell this actress probably put a lot of thought and time to what this character was. So I thought this character in particular, that was kind of the Sidney Prescott of the movie, was pretty effective overall. I also like how some of the moments from the fake trailer made its way into the movie, and pretty effectively too. You would think like with this fake trailer made years ago that they probably wouldn't put every moment from that trailer into the movie, which they don't. But for the moments that they probably could fit into this movie, they fit in pretty well. They don't feel like, oh well, since they were in this trailer, we got to put it into this movie. They don't feel like that at all. They do feel like they belong to the story that was made. So I liked how they kind of incorporated that. It wasn't just one of those things where this fake trailer came out and now they wanted to do this movie. There was moments from that was put into the movie, and I thought that was pretty effective overall. I also like the killer's outfit, and it kind of has choice of weapons. He uses a lot of things that people use for Thanksgiving meals to get it ready for it, like the certain kind of knives. He uses the little corn pieces you use for corn on the cob. There's just certain kind of weapons he uses over the course of this movie that do feel like something that somebody would use for a Thanksgiving feast that could hurt you if you don't use it properly. So I like that aspect of the villain of the movie. And like I said, I like that his outfit's kind of looking like a pilgrim. So I like that aspect of the costume as well. But for my negatives of this Thanksgiving movie, I thought the gore in this film overall looked really fake. And unfortunately, there's a lot of it too. There's just a lot of scenes with really fake gore, really fake blood. And I get it, with Grindhouse cinema, they didn't have the budget back then to make everything look as real as possible. But there's times where it just felt really cartoony to me. It really just looks fake. It just gets to the point where the people look like they're made out of spaghetti rather than actual human beings. So there's just a lot of moments like that where just like it just looks super fake. So I don't know if they tried to do as much practically in camera as possible, or they tried to use CGI to make it work. But there was a lot of moments here where it did look really fake looking to me. So I thought that aspect of the film was kind of disappointing. I also thought a lot of the characters outside of the lead final girl of the movie, I thought a lot of the characters outside of her were just kind of bland and boring. They were either just really terrible people that were attending a Black Friday shopping spree, or they were generic teenagers, or just really annoying townspeople. So I thought a lot of the characters that we get to see over the course of this film were just kind of bland and boring. And if they got killed off, I just really didn't care, just because I thought they weren't really very well written at all. So I thought that aspect of the film was also kind of disappointing as well. And overall, there's really no mystery to this movie. It's pretty easy to figure out when you kind of watch it closely. It's a very easy film to figure out as far as who the killer is. Once it's revealed, it's like, okay, I kind of saw that coming. And not to really give anything away, but there is something that happens very early on in the movie where when you see the whole movie, you're just like, wait, that kind of gave the whole thing away right away. So there's just one of those things where um, there's really no mystery to be solved here. So if you're looking for a film where it's like a Scream movie where you're trying to figure out who the killer is, I don't think it has as in-depth of a mystery as those films do, just because it is so easy to figure out. So I thought that aspect of the film was kind of disappointing as well. And like I just mentioned a second ago, another negative I have for the movie was it does kind of feel like a cheap version of Scream. It really does feel like Eli Roth sat down one night, watched a Scream movie, tried to apply it to his Thanksgiving concept that he did for the Grindhouse double feature, and it just kind of feels like a cheap version of that. Just kind of like what would Scream feel like, but during the Thanksgiving season. So I thought that aspect of the film was kind of disappointing as well. And for the most part, yes, this is based on a trailer, so they really don't have a lot of source material to work off of. So it is one of those things where your imagination really kind of has to make up for all the gaps that a story needs in order for it to work as a film. And you can kind of tell that that happened here, because you could tell that Eli Roth clearly wanted this trailer to become a movie someday. He clearly was trying to stretch to feature length. And it really kind of shows, because there's a lot of moments where it's just like, okay, well, that was kind of in the trailer, so I guess they kind of had to do that. But at the same time, there's also just a lot of moments where it's just kind of a lot of blank space, and there's just not a lot of place where the film can go. So I thought that aspect of the film was kind of disappointing. I felt like they didn't adapt this into a film the way that they probably should have. And for the most part, too, it's kind of hard to tell if this film was a horror or a dark comedy, because there's a lot of moments that do feel like they are trying to creep you out and trying to scare you with some of the killer stuff and the gore stuff. But there's also a lot of moments too where it's kind of a dark comedy, where it's kind of like a Scream movie where it's commenting on a lot of horror films. And there's also a lot of moments in it that are kind of intended to make you laugh too. So I felt like the overall balance this film was trying to be of horror and dark comedy, I thought didn't work out as well as it should have. But overall, I'm going to give Thanksgiving a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's okay. I think there's things about it that are fine. There's certainly things about it that I think are good. But there's also a lot of things about it that I think aren't so good. So it is one of those movies, unfortunately, where there's a lot of problems working against it. There's a lot of things I like about it, but there's also a lot of things that I really don't like about it either. So I would say go into this film with caution. If you did see that Grindhouse trailer from back in the day, or if the old trailer that you can find on YouTube is still out there, you can still find it. If you really enjoyed that, I think maybe watch this. But like I said, go into it knowing it's not perfect. Go into this film knowing that there is a lot of problems with it too. So it's okay. Go in with caution. I personally thought it was just all right. I wasn't super impressed with it. So go into it knowing that it's not perfect, and I think you'll enjoy it more than someone that doesn't know anything about that old Grindhouse trailer from back in the day. So 7.5 out of 10 for me. It's okay.